Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Arizona Birdwatchers, episode 12. With me, as always, is my partner, your friend.
My name is Dave, and maybe your sexual partner, too. Who knows?
Who knows?
That goes yet to be decided.
You know, the night is young.
The night is young. The season is young. I may love each and every one of you.
Yes, and if you didn't know, my name is Troy. Thank you guys again for being here with us. Here to celebrate a good win, dude, a big win.
Yes, a huge win
on Sunday Night Football
in the Toasty Bird's nest.
Yes.
The dome was open. It was beautiful. I mean, just the game was beautiful. The win, the scenery, the crowd.
Yeah.
They were electric.
You said it was bigger. You think it was bigger than the Monday night game you went to?
Yeah. I really do think it was bigger than that Monday night game.
It felt bigger, you know. It felt a lot bigger.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, so we'll get into the game here in a second, but we want to start out with some news from earlier this week. We actually finally received word on Daryl Washington. So the commissioner was on, Roger Goodell was on with Doug and Wolf, and they asked him about Daryl Washington, which I think that kind of led to why we find out some answers.
Kind of turns out, got a little push about Commissioner Goodell, and he kind of told us the reason his suspension has not even been thought about being lifted is because he's continued to violate these drug tests. And, these drug tests, I mean, it's kind of like cheating for a test.
It is.
It's like if the teacher gave you the answers and just said, hey, you just got to show up with the answers. And you're good.
You don't even have to write those answers down. If you just show up in 1 week with this answer sheet,
just
you will get the score.
Literally pee the answers out of you. Yeah.
So the guy could have been great. He was a stud, and it sucks that he chose to end his career this way. And
after the suspension, frankly, you have one job.
Yeah.
You have one job to stay off drugs.
Yeah.
So, and if the NFL literally gives you the designated date.
Yes.
That you will be tested.
And they give you an ample amount of time to get drugs out of your system. You know what I mean? Like they give you like 2 months or something so you can cleanse, if you will.
Right. Exactly. And it's kind of shocking to me that a player that has that potential, that has that opportunity to be on the NFL.
Yeah. Not only to be on the NFL, dude, he could have been a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, to be a Hall of Famer, you're absolutely right, Troy. And just to, frankly, throw it away, because what team's going to want him? We don't want him on our team anymore.
And, I mean, he's missed 3 years, essentially, of football.
Right.
3 of his prime years, you know what I mean? He's not a young man anymore. His body hasn't been taking the punishment, but he's still going to be an old man when he gets back, dude. So
yeah, I mean, the dude deserves a season worth of up downs. That's for sure.
Completely. So good. Nice segue, dude. Let's jump into our game ball and up downs here. And this week, I want to give our up downs to David Johnson.
David Johnson.
Yeah.
Now, he scored a touchdown,
He did
Troy.
score a touchdown, so he made up for it a little bit, but earlier in the game, they tried to get him going. Chris Johnson just couldn't get it going earlier in the game, so they thought, let's throw Johnson and Ellington out there.
Right.
So they were feeding David Johnson, and dude, he had another big fumble, and that puts him at 3 fumbles this season, with just 27 carries, and he's a dynamic running back, and I believe, I think you're the same way, dude. Him and Ellington are the future of the backfield. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're not going to have Chris Johnson forever, but he's got to hold on to that ball.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to secure that ball. 3 fumbles as a kick returner and 27 carries. I mean, that's just a horrible game for a professional player.
Yeah.
Over the course of a season, I know he's not getting those opportunities because he's a rookie, but he is getting a lot of opportunity for the position that he's in at that rookie season.
So especially as a running back, you know what I mean, where we didn't know we had so much depth in running back at the beginning of the season.
Right, true.
And I'm not denying he's great, and he did score a touchdown, and he got us. He was part of that surge of points that we scored. That everybody thought we were just going to dominate over him.
Right.
But if he gets more carries and more opportunities, which he should be getting in the future, I don't want to worry about him holding onto the ball.
No.
That was the start of the end of Beanie Wells. Beanie Wells had no hands. He couldn't hold on to a football to save his life, dude.
Yeah, and look where he is now.
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? He's injured. He's injured. I had to look it up when somebody got mad that I was wearing a Beanie Wells jersey.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so what about game ball, Dave? Who do you think deserves a game ball?
Game ball, we got to give it, man. Frosty Rucker, man.
Yes.
We don't talk about him enough. His stats aren't the best. But, I mean, look, he had 6 tackles this game, 1 for a loss, and he hit the QB, and he just seemed to be rushing the QB at night, just giving it his all.
The whole game. Well, and like Frosty Rucker plays a position where statistically what he does for this team, you can't see it in stats.
True.
You know what I mean?
Very true.
Like, he didn't get sacks all game, but he was clogging that middle of the line, dude. He kept Andy Dalton rushing outside of the pocket all night. You know, the whole team had 99 yards. Andy Dalton was the second leading rusher on their team.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like,
yeah.
Frosty, and what Frosty adds to the center of that line, dude, he's just a constant competitor. He's a big leader on the team, and he was having an incredible game until he hurt his ankle.
Fantastic game. It's unfortunate that he hurt his ankle, but he's that workhorse on our defense that you don't hear that much about, but we have to give him the game ball because we don't always give the game ball to the most obvious choice here.
No. Yeah, we don't want to give. Yeah, there was a lot of obvious candidates for game balls, but I think we like to try to dig a little deeper and find out, somebody who was really working that doesn't normally get all the accolades.
Right. And another person who deserves it just as well, but probably gets game balls in other podcasts and radio shows and things like that, Patrick Peterson.
Yes.
One of the best receivers of the game. AJ Green was only held to 37 yards.
Dude, yeah.
That's pretty special.
And did have more yards in the game. He had 79, but the 42 yards was when Powers was covering, not when
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not going to count that. Coming into this game, he was averaging 85 yards a game. And again, I said he did get 79 total in the game, but Peterson held him to 37.
Right.
Dude, the guy's having an outstanding season. And I think as most of you guys know at this point, Patrick Peterson, Honey Badger, those are our probably a couple of our favorites on the team.
Our favorite savages.
Yes. So we got to give him a special shout out. So another good game for Patrick Peterson. I heard that his ankle, he did tweet out he's fine. He's just a little sore. So he should, day to day going into the game area and said this morning.
It was a good game overall, man. Carson, I mean, just throughout this offense, Carson was 20 for 31, 317 yards. He had 4 passing touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And those interceptions both came in the first quarter. Both were unfortunate. Both put you kind of on your seat a little bit, kind of worried you. But, man, that third quarter showing that he had was fantastic.
You got it, though, too, at the same time. You know what I mean? The 2 games where I think Carson's had really big struggles have been this game in the first quarter and then Pittsburgh.
Yeah, against the Steelers.
Something about when there's these big storylines around the team really bother me, dude. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like when in Pittsburgh, it was the return of Arians to Pittsburgh.
Right.
All these players from Pittsburgh.
Right.
They beat them in the Super Bowl, Pittsburgh.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then this game, everybody was like, this is more than just a game for Carson. You know what I mean? Of course, this means something else. And Carson set himself up for that. He said it or whatever. But I just think when that stuff goes on, it puts too much pressure, the wrong kind of pressure.
Right. And you know what? At least we're learning about these pressure bugs early, so they won't affect us later in the season when the pressure's really going to be on 2 days after Christmas against the Packers, the last game in the season against the Seahawks back here in the Bird's Nest. So it's glad we're getting these pressure, these nerves.
Yeah.
At least it's good practice to deal with pressure.
Yes, 2 Sunday night games in a row, especially that big one against Cincinnati, which in a way feels bigger than Seattle now at this point. You know what I mean? It just, good games. Chris Johnson, CJ2K, he had another 18 carries for 63 yards.
Wasn't getting going, and we talked about that earlier, about how Ellington and Johnson got a couple more carries this game than average because of that.
Yeah.
But that's what we want. At the end of the day, 18 carries for 63 yards we would have been happy with at the first game of the season.
Oh, yeah, hands down. You know what I mean? This game was about Carson. Make no mistake. That's what this game was about. And Chris Johnson kept it so that we didn't have to become one-dimensional in just a passing attack.
Right.
You know what I mean? He kept the Cincinnati on their toes. And Cincinnati's defense is no scrub, dude. They're pretty good. And especially their front seven. And to hold Chris Johnson to 63 yards, you know what I mean? For him to still get 63 yards in that,
Right.
I think it's pretty good.
Right.
I think he did another solid game.
I completely agree. And I'll tell you, the other fortunate kind of thing going into this was that Michael Floyd injury.
Yeah.
But I think it may have been fortunate for us because I don't think that the Bengals got the J.J. Nelson tapes.
No. Well, even if they did, they don't have anybody with rockets in their cleats to keep up with that guy.
They didn't prep for him. They weren't having safeties lined up in the end zone, man, because that dude was on fire. He had 142 reception yards on 4 receptions. I mean, fantastic.
Oh, yeah, dude. It was out. And he scored that touchdown. He just
beautiful.
He caught that that big long ball in the start of the third that just sparked the return. Like,
right.
Oh yeah, this is the Cardinals playing again.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
I mean, in the 2 games we've got to see him play a lot, significant time. He's done well, dude. He's running great routes, and me personally, I didn't know he had hands. I didn't, that's what I didn't know he could catch so well.
And then Fitz, man. I mean, our X factor, Fitz, man. I mean, he had 8 receptions for 90 yards.
Yeah,
dude, another solid game. We would have given them the game ball last week if he had those stats.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just he is the man.
Yeah,
so.
he didn't have crazy numbers, but dude, he had those 2 big catches in the fourth quarter that got us into field goal position where we won the game, where we could win the game. You know what I mean? Carson said in an interview after the game that there's no one he would trust more to have the ball in that situation than Fitz.
God,
smart guy.
That make you feel good as a
fan?
That does. I mean, just that comfort level that you should have with players that play together for years and years, and this is only a couple years in the making here.
That's why Carson's a smart dude, man.
Yeah,
he knows where that ball needs to go. You give LeBron the ball in the last seconds of the game. You put the ball in Fitz's hand in the last seconds of the game.
Yep. No, absolutely, man. And we got to talk about this defense. I mean, they held the Bengals to 99 rushing yards. They got 4 sacks, 3 fumbles, and didn't grab an interception.
No.
But Deion Buchanan had 8 tackles, a sack, and a fumble recovery.
Yeah,
so we'll take that turnover whatever way we can get it.
Yeah. Kevin Minter, he had a team-leading 10 tackles, dude. He was just a machine. And I want to start talking about this guy, Dwight Freeney, dude. Every game, -1, but every game he's played in, he has had a sack.
Spinny Freeney, man.
Dude, the inside spin.
He's got that spin move, man. He's got that spin move.
So good.
It's awesome, man. Yeah, the defense was solid all around. They were always getting pressure on Andy Dalton. That's what we love to see. And when things were going wrong on offense, they were the ones that kind of kept us in this game and allowed us to creep back into it in the second half. And that's why we count on this defense so damn much.
Yes, dude. I mean, the lights of Sunday Night Football, they just seem to make our guys play better. You know what I mean? 2 solid defensive games in a week. The scores were really high, but our defense was out there doing what they needed to do, man. And it seems like our rookies made such huge plays in this game all around. We had J.J. Nelson on offense. On defense, Rodney Gunter got himself a sack. Marcus Golden had that strip that led to Buchanan's fumble recovery.
Right. Former under the nest player, now not so under the nest.
No, he's a big star now.
Now protecting the nest, man.
Look who's a big star now.
Yeah, look who has grown up in a matter of games, man. This is beautiful.
Dude, and I think if Sunday night proved anything to anyone, I hope it showed that the NFL, that we were a rounded team. We have strong depth, you know what I mean? And it's like if one side's not doing so good, the other side's going to pick them up. We're just a great all-around team.
Right. And we can count on each other side of the balls.
Yeah.
And
it's not just the stars that do the work, dude. Everybody can come in and play.
Yeah, it's just a good organization. It's a good organization to cheer for, and it's led by that swag master, Bruce Arians, and he is just fantastic. And he had another great quote about the game this past Sunday night. And Troy, what did he say?
Yes, our Arianism this week is, this is on Tuesday, his interview asking about his decision to go for it in that last minute on the fourth quarter, and he said, if you kneel down or run a draw and see what happens, then the game is over. You roll the dice on overtime. I trust our guys to execute.
Yeah. What's really he's saying is here in Arizona, there's no ties. There's no overtimes. We don't go for overtimes. We don't go for ties.
No.
We win and win big.
And that's what we're going to do, dude. If that's one thing that Bruce is just so it's weird. You could almost call it arrogance, but he's so good that it's fine.
He reminds me of me playing NFL like Madden back in 2005 when I was 6.
Yeah.
Where I just would never punt it.
Yeah. Always go for
fourth. He does it so smartly.
Yeah.
And just so
very sophisticated way.
Very sophisticated. Exactly.
There's an old Belichick quote that I love to say, and he's like, "Why did you end up going for 2 on that play?" And he's like, "Well, because we couldn't go for 3."
Yeah, exactly. I love it. And all the Cardinals were getting out on the bird chirps this week after the big Bengals win. And so, Troy, I hope Carson didn't get into any more trouble.
No, Carson, no.
He didn't tell his former team to suck it.
He didn't tell anyone to suck it this time.
That's good.
I think he learned his lesson.
Good. So what happened?
But we did have another great photo on Instagram. This one's from Carson Palmer's Instagram. and had to do the QBs again. So I don't know if you knew this or not, dude, but Matt Barkley, like 2 hours before the game, when the stadium's still, not all the way empty, but it's not all the way dead at all, he runs out just wearing an outfit of towels. But he's very uncovered, you know what I mean? Like his whitey tighties and a bunch of towels, yeah. And so we'll have this is the picture of the outfit that he was wearing right here. He ran out to the field wearing what he's wearing right there. He lost the QB bucket challenge again.
No way.
Not again, but for the first time, and that was his punishment.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
I know, dude.
That is hilarious. And then Catman had an Instagram photo this week. What was it, Troy?
It was him, Butler, and Mike Leach. And what he said was 82-7. Can't do what I do without these two. Mike Leach snapping and Drew Butler holding.
There we go.
So another just good. I mean, that was a good game for that kid. You know,
it was. He
needed that win. He needed that test.
Yes, he did need that test, and he's been proving himself. More and more every week. I really like Catman.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, feeling comfortable with him. And then Tony Jefferson tweeted at Kevin Minter, "Just because we won last week doesn't mean you start being active on Twitter." To which Minter replied, "Haha, let me live, fool."
Let me live, fool.
Let me live. Absolutely.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh, that is pretty funny.
Yeah, because if you look at Kevin Minter hasn't posted anything for months, and then starting on the 22nd, the day of the game, just blows up.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. And it's funny. But the dude deserves some love.
Oh, dude, when he rushed in, hit the fullback behind the line of scrimmage, and just lit him up, dude. Andy Dalton would have died if he had gotten to him on that play.
Right. Oh, it was beautiful. Gosh. It was beautiful. And then we had our own little moment. Troy, you kind of had a bird watch you a little bit.
Yeah, dude. I kind of liked it. So last week we showed you the picture of Andy Dalton next to Tintin for just a little comparison about Justin Bethel's tweet. So, I thought about it later. I was like, hey, I should tweet that to Justin Bethel. So I did tweet it to him. And, I said, hey, I know this is old, but, basically this is the picture I made of Andy Dalton and Tintin. What do you think? And he said, ha, yes, that's it right there. So I felt cool for a day.
Right. Getting tweets by the birds, having the birds watch you watch birds.
Yeah, man.
Birdception almost. Yeah.
A bird of a bird within a bird.
A bird of a bird within a bird of a bird. And then let's jump to our Under the Nest player, where we kind of preview players that can even be on the practice squad, injured reserve.
Any Cardinal.
We just kind of have some belief in them and in their success. And so this week we're going to talk about offensive guard John Fullington.
Yes.
Right now he's on the injured reserve roster. And I actually got to meet John Fullington at the Cardinals game.
What?
This game, yeah.
Maybe that's why he's on the Under the Nest segment.
Yes, maybe that is why. Yeah, no, and he did not pay me at all. Let me just be very frank. There was no sponsorship deals.
No, this is cool. I think I like getting into the practice guys nobody knows about. So that's cool. Let me hear about him, dude.
Right.
What do you about him?
John Fullington, he's played his college ball at Washington State, where he played all over the line there, but mainly guard, but he played tackles his freshman year. He threw shot put and disc out at Washington State.
Just an overall He-Man.
Yeah, and as I was talking to him, I met at halftime, beginning of the third quarter, and it was pretty funny. He was telling me because Michael Floyd was injured.
Yeah.
Michael Floyd took his seats. So he was originally in section 108 or whatever, right behind the Cardinals bench. But then, for those injured reserve and practice squad players, because he had more injured people on that had to go sit in the stands, he goes and gets shot up to section 438.
Yeah. So there's an injured so the tickets that guys get, but it's for his family. You think Floyd was in the crowd?
Yeah. Yeah, or for his family. Yeah, there were injured players in the crowd.
Oh my gosh, I wonder how sick would it be if you go into your seat all casual or whatever.
Right. No, he was walking around all casual. People were seeing him.
I mean if Floyd, Floyd took his seats, if Floyd really sat in the seats and you're going.
I would like to see that fight. Oh man, come on, and seniority, bro. I'm starter. Get out of here.
All those points I score.
Yeah, exactly. Big
Thanks,
plays.
dog. Yeah,
They call me Mike Money Floyd. Exactly. So it was pretty funny that he so truly under the nest when your tickets get taken from you.
That's awesome, though.
It is. But
I wonder what other situations like the hierarchy of football players goes to. Like if like John Fullington has to go to like the crappiest of the cold tubs.
Right. No, he said it was section 400. And then the funny thing was somebody's family left, so then they got back down to 108.
Oh, so okay. So he just hung out the plebes for a little bit.
Right.
And then went back down to where his true station.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So interesting. Well, I hope he gets out of the crowd and onto the field very soon.
Yes.
He's recovering from that knee injury, but he should be around next season.
Yeah, man.
For,
any depth at the line is great. Great stuff. Well, that's cool, dude. I'm glad you got to meet someone. That's always really fun.
It's always fun meeting birds and watching birds watch you.
Yeah.
So it is great, and we've got a big division game this week.
Yes.
Against the stinking Niners.
Oh, man.
And they have been stinking up the place.
They have been. Yeah, I mean, they're one of the worst teams in the NFL this season, which is
it's so awesome. It's so interesting. I mean, just so interesting how bad they are.
I love it.
Yes, Colin Kaepernick is bad.
He's bad. He's terrible.
Interesting. How terrible?
I mean, how terrible is he?
How terrible is he?
He's so bad he got replaced by Blaine Gabbert, who has so far, and he has 2 starts this season. He's got about a 63% completion rating, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and an 88.9 QB rating. So, he's doing all right. He won his first game. Then he went to Seattle and he lost, which very understandable. Don't get me wrong. So this guy, as we know, he used to play for the Jags. Yep. Everybody thought he was going to be the franchise quarterback in Jacksonville. And then they went and drafted Blake Bortles. And now, so they had no more need for Blaine Gabbert. And here he's been sitting in San Francisco for a while.
And now that Colin Kaepernick has been terrible and injured and terrible, and is probable for this week, but it's still so bad that Blaine Gabbert will most likely get the start.
I always knew he was bad. I was so mad when people say he was so good.
Absolutely, and it is almost comical to see a team that he helped bring to the Super Bowl not 3 years ago. Yeah, now completely on
I'm just
the bench.
Glad we don't have to see him kiss his stupid arm again.
Oh, I know. I hate it. It was he won the douchebag of the year award. That's for sure.
So then we go on to so that's their offensive attack is Blaine Gabbert. Then we look at their running back, and their running back core is completely depleted. It was supposed to be Carlos Hyde, who had some good games at the beginning of the season, and I personally thought he was going to be pretty good. I thought it was going to be all about the hype. But they've been running, but he's fallen off, and he started falling off before he got injured, so now he's injured. So basically what San Francisco did, dude, they went to the thrift store, they found a running back, and now they have this guy named...
What?
I didn't even think about that. They have this guy named Sean Dron, Sean Dron Sweatpants.
Not Sean John.
No. Sean Dron, who's been commonly referred around the league and to his teammates as... Who?
Yeah, as what?
What?
Why?
How? Yeah. Oh, the fans aren't supposed to be in the training facility.
Right. Exactly. Move along, sir.
Yeah. I'm on the team.
Right.
God.
And I really hope and believe that the Cardinals are going to have a chance to boost their defensive running stats.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. I completely agree as well. Yeah. They don't. I don't know. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? I think so. This guy has not done really much in 2 games.
Nope.
And then we go to the wide receivers, dude. And the whole wide receivers core all season has compiled 9 touchdowns.
Just 9.
I think Floyd in the 4 games he's played, I think he has 6 already.
Oh, yeah. So that puts it into perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's led by the former Cardinal, Anquan Bolden.
Anquan Bolden, yeah. He has 465 yards and 2 touchdowns this season already.
And I can't talk anything bad about Anquan. I still have some piece of my heart goes to Anquan.
He was a great Cardinal.
He was.
He's been great everywhere he's played, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, like if Larry had taken the route that Anquan Bolden had, I think there's a lot of similarities. You know what I mean? A lot of similarities.
Right. But, yeah, and I wish Anquan stayed as a Cardinal, but then he went to be a Raven, and now he's a 49er and yada, yada. And
another former Raven is also a 49er, and that's Torrey Smith, who's got 402 yards and 2 touchdowns this season. Torrey Smith had some really good seasons in Baltimore, really good seasons, and he had the chance, but he could never be that lead guy. He had a chance to be the lead guy. He just couldn't ever get there. He's a really big deep threat, but he's just he's got comparable stats to Anquan Bolden this season, so he's I guess he's doing what they wanted him to do, but it just never lived up.
Points on the board.
Yeah. I mean, their third receiver is this guy Quentin Patton, 249 yards and a touchdown this season. So not a lot of threats to our secondary.
Right, and I hate to say it, but it is a whole different game for a wide receiver when you're playing in a short field in the red zone and things like that. You can get the ball up and down as much as you want, but if you can't get it in those confined spaces, if you can't go up like Floyd and grab it, go up like J.J. Nelson and grab it, then you're not going to produce.
Dude. Yeah. And I guess if it had to happen, it's a good week. Patrick Peterson, he's going to be nursing that injury, and so if he does play, I imagine it'll be like in a limited capacity depending on the flow of the game. So if we get up early, let's rest him. Let's take some fresh off that.
We've got a big game against the Rams after this too,
and we know the Rams. They're a hard hitting team on both sides of the ball.
They are the team I'm more worried about other than the 49ers. But I don't want to get trapped into thinking that this is an easy game and a laughable game.
No,
although
not
they're
at
3-7, they've won all 3 of their games at home.
Yeah, so home they are intimidating.
Yeah.
Let's see, they have 7 interceptions this season, and they're 26th in sacks. They have about 18. So the Cardinals only have 19. So if that's comparable, but we also are leading the interception. Or actually, we're second. Carolina just surpassed us in interceptions.
So we're not really, we're blitzing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But that's not really our strength. Our strength is to go up and get it back.
Take that ball from
Yep, and get it back. And then let's talk about their stars on defense.
Okay.
49ers, Navarro Bowman, inside linebacker. He's got 97 total tackles on the season and 2 sacks.
Which, even for him, man, that's not that great. He's older now. He's been in the league for a while, but he's just not that great. You know what I mean?
Right. And he's paired there in the linebacker position with Michael Wilhoit with 81 tackles and a pick. So these guys they're getting around, they're being busy, but they're not converting sacks, they're not converting picks or turnovers. You don't see them getting these forced fumble recoveries. It's not an intimidating defense, frankly. And then you've got Tarmine Brock. Hey, he's their cornerback with 3 picks, but at the same time, that's
he can't cover. He can't cover 5 receivers.
Right.
4. He even 3. You know what I mean? We have so many stars at receiver that.
Right. And who do you focus on? Do you focus on Fitz? Do you focus on Floyd? Do you focus on John Brown? Do you focus on J.J. Nelson? Do you focus on
J-Ron Brown?
J-Ron Brown. Excuse me. I mean, who do you focus on that wide receiver category? Because we are stacked.
And then if you focus on all those guys, you know who we're going to throw at you? Chris Johnson, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, man. Overall, San Francisco is a team. It's got a lot of rebuilding to do. And this season, it's honestly been the first rough one we've seen in a while from them. There seems to be some hope with Gabbert for this season. He seems a little more optimistic than Colin Kaepernick did, but he is not the answer. I mean,
no.
The whole team seems to have had some sort of interaction with a Dementor, from Harry Potter, because the soul is gone from this game.
I love it. I love that comparison.
Thank you.
And I wouldn't be surprised seeing this team go for a quarterback in the draft next year.
No, not at all. My only fear with this game, though, is that it has the chance to be a trap game.
And you never want that.
No, dude, we're coming off like a really big win. We have some really big games coming up to end our season, and this is an easy game to overlook, you know what I mean? But
as podcasters, we can laugh about how bad the 49ers are, but the Cardinals can't.
They have to take it very serious. Yeah.
It's the NFL.
This is what happened to Cincinnati against Houston.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cincinnati got broken their undefeated season by Houston.
Right.
Because they just overlooked them.
Right. You're absolutely right. And, it's the NFL, man. Even the worst team in the league is the
Any
best.
given Sunday.
It's the best college team.
But we do have the benefit that it is San Francisco.
Yeah.
And we hate San Francisco.
We hate them.
So that's good.
It's a little bit of a rivalry. I hope Potty comes back and plays against his former team.
Man, yeah.
It's going to be a good game. It's Sunday, 2:05 on Fox.
Yeah. What do you think, Fitz? Let's talk about your prediction, the score prediction here. I mean, last time we railed on him.
I'm predicting. I'm going bold here. Just
go bold. Oh, please. So bold.
35-0.
35, dude. That is a bold. Okay, I had a bold one, and I like where yours is.
Yeah. We don't allow him to move.
I'm bolding. We go over 50.
Nice.
52-7.
Nice. Okay. 52-7. I like that.
I just want to run it up on him.
Yes. I'd love to run it up to 35 is my minimum.
Yeah.
But I don't.
No,
want to 35.
A goose egg would be beautiful. I would love a straight 0. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening to us again this week. We'll be back next week, talk about San Francisco, and then on to our big game against the Rams. We want to thank you very much. Remember to subscribe to Troboat on YouTube. And
next week, we are going to be previewing all the mathematical odds about how we can get into the playoffs and clinch and all things like that. So make sure you keep listening. Stay tuned for next week's episode of the Birdwatchers.
Yes. Just once again, thanks for listening to the Arizona Birdwatchers, the best biased bird gang podcast around.